Hey everyone, this is Tony with 3D Locksport, and I have a different kind of video for you today. I'm going to be doing some lock picking, which you don't see me do a lot on my channel. And that was spurred by something very specific. And that specific thing was the fact that I had reached out to Lockpicking Lawyer to let him know that I was sending him one of my Halloween limited edition locks. And we were talking on the phone for a bit, and he asked me if I'd seen some of the new products they'd added to covertinstruments.com. And I said, I haven't had a whole lot of time to peruse, but I had seen some of the things like the Arbiter set, and I've seen things like the new Riv Pick, which I thought were very cool. And we just talked about that for a little bit, and then we had to go. We parted ways with phone calls, and shortly after that, I got an email notification from Covert Instruments that my order had shipped. And I thought it was interesting because I hadn't purchased anything. But out of the kindness of Lockpicking Lawyer's heart and the fact I sent him something as well, just friends reciprocating with friends, he passed along to me the Arbiter set. This patch didn't come with it. I put it on there. I have this patch and I think it's hilarious. We're gonna just actually leave that in frame. I love it so much. We'll put it right there. Okay. Anyways, he sent me the Arbiter set. Now, right now, this is just the case. This is their OD Green Tradecraft case. Dude, it's such a high quality material. I love this thing. Like, this is one of my favorite pick cases I've ever had. And it's got magnets in it. So if I close this, there's no sound when I open and close this. If I close it hard, there's that sound. But if I just set this down, take it and put it down, no sound, no sound, no sound. This, on the other hand, is exactly what the most of all of your pick cases sound like when you open them. And you know that sound, I guarantee you do. The fact that this is literally a covert case by Covert Instruments, and there's things I can't show you in this area, but this magnet will stick to a lot of things. Like, for example, here's a lockpick. Lockpick will stick to it. So the cool thing is, you could, if you were working around a metal surface, like let's say a server room door or something along that line, this would stick to the, oh, I just bumped the camera with the case, my bad. This would stick to that door and give you quick access as like a hanging tool case. You quickly grab things. And if you need a pick or a tension wrench, but you just need it for a minute, you could take it, stick it on the magnet while you're working, and then reach back up and quickly grab it instead of trying to stick it back into the case all the time. So anyways, that's enough about the case, but again, the case had to be talked about because it's awesome. Okay, also included inside there is a traveler's hook, which I've already kind of shown you here. Now, most people who have traveler's hooks are used to the ones with the big, bulky red handles. Some of them have blue handles. There's different handles, but red is the most common one you see. And the tips of those, oh my God, they're sharp. Like if I did this with it, sure, I put a little indent on my finger, that would have punctured and drew blood with the other ones. And because they make these themselves for the purpose being, the top corner here, it's got more material which reinforces it, which makes it actually stronger over time. And this is perfectly strong enough for doing the same things as the red-handled ones, except this fits in your pocket, super flat and thin. So, but it doesn't need to go in your pocket. It can go in this case, which is where it's gonna go now. So I'm gonna take this and I put it right here. I put it with the point facing in case it tips outwards a little bit like that. There's less chance of it poking anything. So put that right there. Okay, moving on. What else is inside here? Adams right wire. I don't really have any Adams right lock to show you how to use this. There's plenty of videos that show you how to use this. This isn't very common for me, and I would never carry this in my pocket. But the fact that it comes in the Arbiter case and it's flat pack and sits in here, now I'll have this on me. Not that I'll ever need it, but I will have it on me. The other thing that comes inside there is the commercial door hook. And this is above and beyond what you would expect it to be. This thing folds flat, which is awesome. And I love how the hook parts, oh, keep that in frame. I love how the hook parts actually go through the eye of the Covert Instruments logo to keep them in there, because they come out and then fold open this way. But because that hook is in there, if you just do a little pull on it, it stays shut. That's awesome. That also goes in here. The one tidbit I'd give you is take the logo side and put it down. Otherwise, you're putting pressure on these arms because that'll be the high point against the case. So I always put the logo side down. Okay, what else comes inside this thing? Of course, it comes with a padlock bypass driver. And I love that they call it a padlock bypass driver, not an American lock bypass driver. Why? Because when it was first created, it was really meant for American lock bypass, but this works on any unshielded padlock that you can get through the core of the lock and actuate the lock in the back. This thing, also, love having that on me at all times. This thing is super strong, and the flag on it is absolutely perfect to fit. Okay, moving on. The next things we got are notch decoders. Let me grab those here. There's one of them and there's two of them. Now, there's one in 6,000ths and there's one in 10,000ths. Okay, this one's much stiffer than this one. Mine look beat up because I've used them. I've been playing with them a lot. I already had these, but I'm playing with them now with the Arbiter set. So those come as well. So those I'm going to stick right here, and I'm going to stick the other one right there. Okay, so what else comes in the kit? A knife tool. That's awesome. This is for opening unshielded padlocks from the inside. You can get up there and separate the actuator. So I'm gonna slip that right here. And then the last thing that comes in this set is the credit card latch slipper. This is, if you've ever seen someone slip a lock with a credit card, that's what this is. You can push here, you can hook here, you can reach through like this to latch and pull. It's a very useful profile and it works really well. And it even has its own spot right inside the case, right up here like that. Oh, I hooked it. There we go. So now this all folds up nicely. And this is super thin. And this, minus lock picks, is a perfect everyday carry. You can bypass your way into pretty much everything with this. The only thing it's missing is lock picks. And there's not a whole lot of room to fit like an entire Genesis set in here if you wanted to. But, as I said, LPL also sent me one more thing. And that is the new Riv pick. This thing is the Genesis set in a tiny, tiny form factor. So you get a short hook, a medium hook, and then two of the wave rakes. I believe it's 4 and 5 hump wave rake. Let me just talk about this thing on its own for just a minute. I love this thing. A couple tidbits. See this little hook here? A lot of this is meant to go inside your covert companion, right? It's got attachments that came with it to put this in your covert companion. However, for me, the covert companion isn't pocket sized anymore. I can't choose to carry it in my pocket in day-to-day life. It goes in my backpack when I go places, absolutely. But I wanted somewhere I always had a lockpick set on me in my pocket at all times. That is now this. As a matter of fact, you could take a key ring, put it through this little slit right here, and just dangle this off your keychain and you'd be set. You'd always have a lockpick set on you. So I take this and I also put it in here. Again, I do it with this flat side up so I can put the point in first and it just guides it so the hooks don't catch. Because if you turn this around and try to put it in like this, it's possible that like one of the lockpicks will get snagged. So just turn it upside down, slide it in just like this. Now this is almost complete. All we need are some turning tools. So I grabbed two of my favorite ones from the Longhorn set. This is the same set that comes with your Genesis set. Those go right here. And the cool thing about those are they are both top and bottom of the keyway. But I also like pry bars. So I just have one of these pry bars, flat pry bars, I also stick in here as well. And now, this is my new EDC set. I have a pocket-sized case that I can't imagine many scenarios that this won't get me into. Okay, I love this set, but enough talking about the set. Let's see what we can do with this set. So let's start out with one of the easy things. Oop, didn't shove that all the way in. Let's start out with the padlock bypass. Okay, now this will only work on non-shielded padlocks. It's possible you see American lock or some other lock and they've already put a wafer in the back as a shield. But I just so happen to have one of these older Mako locks that I got many, many, many years ago, which is pretty much just an American 1100 knockoff. So we're gonna test it in this and slide it in. I'm not gonna go how these work, there's enough videos on that. I'm just gonna show you the tools in action. So we're gonna shove this in like that, and then we're gonna try to get all the way to the back. And if you can't get it in, you can always tap it against the table, but we're gonna see if I'm through here. And give it a twist. Nope, so I'm gonna tap it on the table. There we go, and now I'm through. Deviant just showed a video where you might use like a bump hammer or screwdriver or something else you have hard to tap it in. That works well, I just use the table for demonstration. But that is a super easy bypass. You're literally just sliding this through the keyway. Get it lined up here. Oh, I can't look through the camera and do this apparently. I don't know how I didn't struggle at all the first time, but now I'm struggling. There we go. Okay, get it through, and then work your way to the back. And boom, no tap that time, went right through. So there's your padlock bypass driver, and I love this thing. Set that off to the side. Okay, let's see, what's next? Let's talk about some of the decoders. Let's get both those out. So we have the 10,000s and the 6,000s. Okay, so let's take this, and this is the thicker of the two. And everyone's seen these kind of combination wheels before. I do know the code of this. I'm not going to scramble it. That's not the point. I'm just trying to show you how this works. I would set this down inside like this, and I'm giving it just a little bit of pressure. I'm going to rotate each of the pins, and I just felt that fall in. It's hard to see. I'll try to do the next one up close here. I'm going to set it right here, and then see if you can see when it kind of moves forward. Well, that wasn't fair. It just did it. It just dropped in. Let's try it on this next one here. Spin it around. So this lock's weird. Once you get to 0, you're kind of screwed. It doesn't let you keep going around. So I'm going to put it here this time. I'm going to do the same thing. Roll, roll. There, it just dropped in. I don't know if you were able to see that or not. And let's just get the last one. No, I can't go that way. I'll have to go this way. There, and it just fell in. So it would look as though the combination might be 8004, but we know that's not correct because it won't open. So what you would normally do is you would just rotate this all one click until you got it. So I'm going to keep doing that. Every single one, and then you try. There you go, 1337, that was the combination. So that's one way to use that. This next one is a little more difficult. I'm not very good at this, but I'm gonna try to show it anyways. So these are another one of those dial combination locks like this from Master Lock. And the goal here is you're gonna slip this past the dial, and there's a latch you wanna lift in here, and it will pop the lock open. So I'm gonna do my best to do this with doing two things, not hurting myself and not damaging the shim. This can cause damage to your shim, so just keep that in mind. So let's try to get this started at least. Okay. And don't push on the handle, you will just bend this. You need to hold down here on the thin material as you press this in. And you need to get it in pretty decent. I think that might be good enough. Let's give it a try. Yep, there. So you push down on the padlock, the shackle, as you press down on this, and it pops it right open. Now, you can see how kind of bent out of whack and out of shape that can be. I believe they sell on their website, they call these like the decoder fixers or something or other. I bought these from years ago. You can buy them at any hardware store. It's just if you're already buying from Covert Instruments, adding this to your cart, you're already paying for the shipping or whatever, so just you can add it on there. You might even have a discount code on the site. So these are just for coming out and trying to straighten these back out to get all the kinks out of them so you can use them again. So anyways, that's that decoder. Let's see, what's the next thing? So we could talk about the commercial door hook. I don't have anything to show it on. Go to Covert Instruments to see how this works. Otherwise, I can't show that to you because I don't have anything here for that. Same thing with the Adams right wire. You can see videos of how that works. I don't have anything to show that to you with. And the traveler hook. I could pick this up and show you on a door, but again, there's hundreds of videos of how these things work. It's literally just sticking it over the latch and slipping it. Obviously, this doesn't work as well, or if at all, if they have the dead latch engaged. But there's videos all about that on the internet, so go ahead and take time to look those up yourself. And I'm not going to talk about the credit card tool because it does pretty much the same thing. So let's get to the knife. So how does this knife work? Pretty much you're going to work your way up into the actuator and you're going to pull it and open it inside so that the lock will pop. This Brinks is weird. It doesn't just work. I actually have to do almost a 3-step process to make this work, and I'll kind of walk you through what I'm doing. The first thing I do is I kind of just shove the knife up inside until I find where the actuator's at. And I get to a certain point and I work my way up into there and I have to like wedge it open, okay? Then I pull that out, I flip it around, and I have to come up from the keys now, or the pin, sorry, and do the same thing, okay? And now I just stick it right here push straight up. Oh, no, that one's not gonna go that time. Let's see if I can get this. I'm struggling. There we go. And that pops it open. Most of these, unshielded, you could just stick them up there like this and pop it open. I had to play with this Brinks for a minute because I don't have any that actually work that way. And this worked perfectly. I just realized I had to do a couple steps to actually make it pop. So anyways, that is the bypass knife. So what does that leave us with? Well, that's the arbiter set. That's all of the arbiter set. But I still have my riv pick. And one thing about this riv pick that's not a bug, this is a feature, is this thing is snug. It is tight. It is hard to move. But in its open position, it is the length of a full lockpick. So let me go ahead and just get a rake out here. You're gonna watch me struggle because it is tough, but you get very used to it very quickly. And there are tricks to getting it to open easier. And that is like, once these are all bunched down here, this is now super tight. So if you keep these up a little bit while you lower your first one like this, and then hold your first one down and close the rest. I've had more luck doing that than any other way, just due to the fact of how tough it is. But now that we know it's that tough, I don't worry about this folding up on me while I'm using it. And if you look at this, and I compare it, for example, to that bypass knife we just did, it's a full-length lockpick, guys. That is awesome. There is no jackknife that I have ever used that isn't cumbersome with a big handle that gives you a full length. So I'm just saying, this is awesome. This pretty much negates the reason I would ever buy a jackknife ever again. Okay, let's find a rock. I'm pretty sure we can rake this bad boy open. So let's go ahead and grab a tensioner and try to rake this open. I have got to learn how to pick around the camera here, folks. Okay. I know there we go. I just have to learn how to pick around a tripod stand that's right here between me and the camera. I never pick on camera, so that's why. Anyways, so that rakes open pretty easily, and that's just using one of the waves. And let's see here. I think I got another one. Yeah, so this is a little tiny wafer lock. I'm gonna use the short end, or the thin end of this wrench to do this. And then we're gonna try to rake this open as well. And that popped right away. What else we got? I mean, we could do some single pin picking, I guess, since there's a short hook on here. Let's go ahead and get one of these out. That's the medium hook, and I want the short hook. So, like I said, when this is down, these do not open well because they move together. So I find it easier to bring all these back first. And you want to make sure you're not pinching the locks like that. Otherwise, if you're holding like this and you're finding it hard to do it, what you're doing is you're pinching down on the metal, making it harder for this to close. Okay, so let me get my short hook, excuse me. And the short hook is on the inside, so we'll pull that out. They are marked like 1, 2, 3, and 4 as well, if it helps you remember what they are. So you can see there's a small little marking. Well, maybe not. Can you see that? Yeah, small little number 1 right there. Okay, so let's open that up. Let's see here, what are we gonna grab? I got this Brinks over here I can probably do. Let's give that a go. I think this is like a Master Lock 140. I think it's got 1 spool inside of it somewhere. So nothing on 1, 2, 3, little click on 3, nothing on 4, back to 1. 1's binding, click out on 1, 2, little click, 2 still. Yep, 2 still binding. I just dropped into a false set, so back to 1 here. Let's see, is 1 good? No, I think 1 might be our culprit. Let me, still in frame? Barely. Try to get on pin 1 there. No, 1's good. 2's good. 3's good. Oh, I just touched 4. I didn't even click, and it rotated even more. So I'm gonna go back to 1. 1's good. 2's good. 3 good. Maybe 4 has more to give. Let's see here. Counter rotation. And there we go. Okay, so that one's open. Here's a fun pick. This is an older lock I bought off eBay. It's a genuine pin tumbler sleigh maker. Anyways, it's got a ginormous gaping keyway. Anyways, let's go ahead and use this much thicker 50 thou from Covert Instruments because this is a big old opener in here. I believe it's 4 pins if I remember correctly, but let's get in here and see what we can do. Nothing on 1. Click out it. Oh. Come on, 2. No, 2 is not ready to go. Let's go to 3. Click out of 3. Very little click out of 3. Back to 1. Nothing. 2. 2 feels like it's jammed up in there. Give me a second. See if I can figure out maybe I might have picked out of order. No, hold on. 1 wants to do something. Well, I'm going to reset that. Pull it out a little bit. It might be binding on the core. Okay, there's nothing on 1. Little click out of 2. Nothing 3, nothing 4. Back to 1. Nothing on 1. There's got to be something in here I'm missing. 1. Let me release some of this. 2. There's a click out of 3, a little turn. Let's try 4. 4 is good. 3 is good. 2's nothing. Okay, so 1's completely floppy. Well, now I can't just give up. I said I was going to pick this on camera, so now I have to succeed. I might have to be here all night. You guys might want to go get something to drink. I can't believe I'm struggling with this lock so much. Nothing 1. 2 just feels like it's completely jammed up, which it might be. It's an old lock. I just got off eBay. Okay, click out of 3, which gave me a little turn. 4 feels like maybe it's clicking and just went. Can't be 1. 1's super loose. It's got to be 2, but 2 is so jammed up in there. I should have sprayed this thing with some lube first. I just figured the hole was big enough I didn't need the lube.
Sorry, children.
You know what? I'm struggling. I'm not going to lie. So what am I going to do if I was in the field? I'm going to switch picks to a rake and see if this works instead. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull this back so it's easier to do. Okay, let's see if I can rake this thing open, seeing it wants to be a pain in the ass. I think there's 1 security pin, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to rake this open, but we'll find out. I'm not sure I get this in there. Hold on a second. There we go. Yeah, this thing's bound up. Oh, never mind. There we go. I think pin 2 is a little janky on me. I couldn't get it to move. I was afraid I was going to break the pick. I was pressing so hard. So I'll put a little Houdini lock lube up in this, and next time it'll be a lot easier. So anyways, that's what I have for the video today. I highly suggest and highly recommend the Rev Pick. Absolutely, this thing will be going either on my keychain. I'll probably buy another one so I can have 1 on my keychain. And then I'm gonna keep everything else here inside this kit. So like I said, I'll have 2 turners, top of the pry bar, I'll have my Rev Pick, I'll have my Traveler hook, I'll have both of the decoders. Where's my decoder? Both my decoders. I'll have my knife, Adam's Right tool, padlock bypass tool, commercial door hook, and that will all be in my pocket because it all fits into a nice compact set just like this. And I absolutely love this. I highly recommend the Arbiter bypass set to anybody who likes bypass stuff. And the fact that it all fits in a pack that can fit in your pocket just makes it that much more amazing. Anyways, if you want any of this stuff, you can pick it all up at covertinstruments.com. If you want to see better usage of this, just go to Lockpicking Lawyers videos and watch him use his own tools. He does way better than I do. But other than that, I have nothing else for you, and I hope you guys have a good and safe day. Thanks.